A very good evening to you all. Welcome back to Formula Champions Cup. I am Jamie Morris here, and it's the last round of the season, and it's going to be an epic one indeed. I missed out in Baku Grand Prix due to illness. I am still ill, still recovering, so please take it easy with me if I do make mistakes or start coughing along the way or sniffing. But hopefully, I try and make sure I slim the chances of that. So, yeah, it's the last race of the season here in the Portuguese Grand Prix. And this is a track where it's always been good for overtaking, especially in the past few races. We see it here as well, so hopefully it can produce some more good action here as we've got some cars coming out the pit lane. I think it's both Red Bulls who've decided to come out the pit lane first, so we'll see which one is it. And you can see some people are on the medium compound tyres for starters, and it's a short track as well, so you can get away with a few runs as some people go on the medium compound tyres to get a feel for the track. So our man Leo, who won the Mexican Grand Prix at the very start of the season, I believe, he pulled out an excellent 3-second gap. It was the Mexican Grand Prix, wasn't it? That was the first race. Yeah, it was. So this man here, we're on board with, won the Mexican Grand Prix. He pulled out a 3-second gap because he had a penalty and managed to win ahead of Rudy. So that was an epic moment for him. I know quite a few people have got qualifying bans, so a bit of drama last week, wasn't there? Back at the Baku Grand Prix, I got told. So yeah, I was ashamed to miss that one, but hopefully can make it all up here at Portugal. Different track, of course. The undulation and the elevation around here is absolutely incredible. It's what makes this track unique in its own fashion and style. So you can see it uphill, downhill, and it's completely blind until you get downhill here. That's what makes this track so amazing. But we've got a few cars ahead of us first. I think one of them is Joey in the Aston Martin. Yes, it is. So we're going to go on board with him first, as he's about to start his first flying lap on the medium compound tyres. So I think this lap time could be in the 16s. If it's on the mediums, like the high 16s, mid 16s, depends how quick they are on the mediums. Plus the track is not its best either, so we'll wait to see what the times are as they start tumbling down later towards the session. But here we go then, on board with our man Joey, as he's about to make his way towards the line now to start his flying lap at Portugal. So downhill drop before we enter turn number 1, you can see there. And we go into turn number 1, flick it in the 50-metre board, hit that inside curve there, but not too much. Try to avoid such a curve, turn 2 flat out, going into turn 3, crucial to pick your braking point, kiss that inside curve, and you're going uphill here, so it's very easy to lose the back end of the car. As you can see, short shifting through the gears to help his stability, going downhill now into the next braking zone. I think it's turn 5, braking to the 100-metre board, downhill braking zone, so it's very easy to lock up the front left, sorry. As we get back to the throttle once again for Joey, flat out corner here, now coming into the double-hander, flat out for the first part, lift off for him as we go to the second part uphill, so it's very easy to lose the back end of the car here. You can see him experimenting with the throttle there to try and get his way, to try and straighten the car up. Through Craig's Jones, flat out through there, unside turn, next 2 corners in Portimao. Swing it through there, take a wider line to get a good exit. As come through left-hander, flat out through there, into turn number 13, I believe, lock up on entry, but still makes the corner. And coming into the final 2 corners now, where the tyres are at their best in terms of tyre temperature, will start to heat up quite a lot and start sliding around, so just need to try and control that and mitigate the damage through that as we make our way through the final corner, through goal, flat out right-hander, as we're about to make our way towards the line. It's a 16.8 like I predicted, so he goes to the top of the pecking order, but it'll be beaten by others on the softs. Axelino puts his Haas into P1 with a 16.4, then 4/10 clear of Joey in P1. Leo, wow, that's a good lap time from him in the Red Bull, isn't it? A 16.0, so smashes out a fantastic lap time immediately at the start of the qualifying session. Bowler goes into P3 in the Alpines. That's a decent lap time that is on the medium compound tyres, only a few tenths away from our best lap time. Tefex Pro in P6, Giraffe in P5 on that in the Haas, but I don't think that's a well, I think it's just a steady lap in general. And honestly, if he did make a mistake or something like that, but he's currently in P5. His teammates in P2 there, so looks like it's good for him in Axelino in P2, but there's plenty of more improvements as for Day. Not a representative lap time for him, as he's about to go for a second one, I believe. As Jeremy V. Bussell then, it's a Red Bull 1-2, and he puts that Red Bull into first place with a 50.8 then at this stage of qualifying. So it's a shame this track's going next year, isn't it? We haven't got Portugal for the next calendar, so unfortunately this track is going, but it'll still be around in other categories like MotoGP, as we can see racing here if you want to see this track being used. But yeah, both Red Bulls then smashing out the times as the warm goes into P9 for QRT. But like I said, I don't think it's a representative lap time for him in that Williams. I think he's going to go for a second flying lap. The first flying lap is very difficult to get wrong indeed because of the low grip surface around here, but the track will build up in terms of grip later on towards the session then. So you'll see a lot of mistakes. You can see a few people not setting a representative lap time or not setting a lap time, such as Pietro in P11, Facilio in P12, Batuxai in P13 and Juan in P14. There he is in the Ferrari as he's about to make his way towards the line. It's a 16.1 and he puts himself into P3 then. Fidei puts himself into P3, into the 16s, 16.0, so he's getting closer towards the 15s. So these are some decent lap times then coming through as Batuxai in P14 is yet to set a lap time in the AlphaTauri then, so just awaiting him. He's been rolled back in the pit lane, so indicating that he is struggling around this track, but hopefully he can get a rhythm and sort it out as quickly as he can. But there's still plenty of time to go in this session for him to get a lap time in, so yeah, there's no worries for him. But yeah, the only man, well, Facilio in P13 has gone for a second lap it seems, and he also validated the second one as well. So the first set of tyres not paying him any justice whatsoever, and unfortunately there we'll have to go back in the pit lane as he is without fuel as well. So won't be seeing them tyres yet again for the qualifying session. And this track is very difficult to save EOS around here. If you're on your road throughout the whole race, you're going to have a hard time, no matter how much you slow down. Depends what setup you're in as well, because you want to even it out because of the undulation around here going uphill and downhill, so you need to balance it out in terms of setup. But if you're in a low downforce setup, it might pay dividends for you. You might struggle in the corners, but on the straight you'll be flying, and therefore it's quite easy to save the EOS. If you're in a high downforce setup, that means more drag and therefore be much harder to save the EOS. But if you're somebody's slipstream or in DRS range, then it should be easier to save the EOS. Depends how you want to play it, of course. So two Red Bulls though can help each other in the race if they stay first and second, but still got plenty of time in this qualifying session. As you can see that the Ferrari has completely run out of fuel, so those tyres are done. He's done 2 laps on those set of tyres. We've got Noir there making his way towards the line. Let's see if it's an improvement. No, he's not. He's dived back in the pit lane instead, so yeah, I don't think he feels like that's a good lap time. So one driver has set a lap time, a few of them haven't set a representative or the best lap times yet. They're still on their feeler lap, it must be said. But once the timer starts ticking down, we'll see some fast laps popping in. We've got Axelino out there on and out laps. Same with Bolin in P7. We'll go Bolin first because, or in fact, we'll go ball with Joey because he's closer up, isn't he? So on the soft compound tyres, so expect an improvement for him as he makes his way down towards turn 3. Now going up into turn 4, up into 5th gear. Make sure the back end of the car doesn't step out. DRS so very pivotal to get that corner right, otherwise you won't have a chance of overtaking down into turn number 5. That's where the most overtaking is around this circuit, not down at turn number 1. Sometimes there is, but people wait for turn 5 because it's the most common overtaking. Most conventional overtaking in place, it must be said, down at turn number 5. As Joey then makes his way towards downhill into Craig Jones we go. Going into turn 10 and turn 11, at Portimao on side to corner. As you get there, you can see him taking a wider entry to get a slingshot exit using all the curb. 5/10 up in the middle sector, that could put him into 16.2, about his 5th place. Depends if he can find more time in that last sector then. So Joey on a flying lap, coming towards the penultimate corner. And he gets absolutely spotted. You can see those sides to the rear of the car just stepping out at him. Now taking the shortest route as he races our way towards turn 15. The last corner, Golf should have no problems through there, unless it's raining, of course. And now making our way towards the line. What's it going to be? A 60.1. And he has popped himself into 5th place. That's a decent lap time, so he did find more time in our last sector. So Bolin next across the line then, as Joey's developed his potential second lap. Bolin used all the track as Isma has joined late, bless him. As Bolin makes his way towards the line, it's P2, 50.9, so decent lap time for him. As Jamie V. Bussell right behind him is going to go for a flying lap. And one of the AlphaTauri is that is Batuxai, who's just got into 5th place, so he does get a representative lap time. So much better lap time on a second go on the soft compound tyres. So relieved of the pressure there. He's just evaluated, but it doesn't matter because he was going for a flying lap anyway on the second run. Tefex Pro, his teammate, has got into P8 in the AlphaTauri, so he's improved himself inside the top 10. But lower end of the top 10 where you don't want to be. Axelino's on a lap, so is his teammate. or I think he was. Yeah, he's just crossed the line to go into P11. So, best place to start if you do the alternate strategy. But bearing in mind, we'll have a brand new session anyway. So, for those who join later than others, we go into a brand new session. So, this session won't count in terms of who starts on what tyre, because they can start what tyre they ever want to. So, apologies about the black screen. I usually get notifications around at this time. I should turn them off, but apologies about that. But yeah, if you're in first place, you can start the medium compound tyres if you want to, because we're having a brand new lobby anyway. So that's the rules. Something I didn't even know at the first round, but we all catch up in the end. Right, who's out there on the fly lap? OP Facilio, 26.3. Looks like he's going for a second lap on these tyres. No, he's going for his first lap. No, his second lap. So Facilio then, second lap on these set of soft compound tyres. No, his first lap actually. You can see there, I'm on the wrong graphic. Turn 13, let's see how it takes this corner. Very easy to lose the back end of the car here. I think Leo's just popped himself into P4. Jensen's up into P3 in the Aston Martin. Good lap time from him in that Aston Martin there. So pops himself into a 15. And that's the time you'll be aiming for. 15.6 for the Red Bull and Leo. And he raises the bar as Facilio splits both Red Bulls and he goes into P2. Now Facilio, if I remember correctly, he was one of the drivers that took the tyres 20 laps. And I'm talking about soft compound tyres. If you don't believe me, go and watch the Formula Sim race. I think it was a few weeks ago or a month ago. It was in Tier 1, it was on a Thursday night, and he took those tyres 20 laps. That was just incredible. I don't know how he managed to do that. Plus his pace was good anyway, like it wasn't even dropping off that much. He was still quicker than the medium runners, so keep an eye on Facilio. He's got a trick up his sleeve and he might could perform it tonight. And maybe you might go on the alternate strategy, who knows, because it is a brand new session. But yeah, those who know what I'm talking about, keep an eye on Facilio, because his tyre management is just incredible. He knows how to massage these tyres, knows how to keep the pace as well. He doesn't drop off when the tyres are like 17, 18 laps old. So yeah, one to keep an eye on. For Day, a few hundreds up in the first set, so that's his teammate. So looks like he's going for a second lap. As you can see there, the first lap he's already done on those set of soft compound tyres, probably indicating that he might have invalidated or made a mistake. But let's see that in the middle sector he's 1/10 up, but will he struggle now because he's already done one lap? Has he had the chance to cool the tyres down, depending where he validated on the lap? If it was like the first sector, then fair enough, because you can have the whole lap to back off. But you can see his teammate Facilio might give him a tow. Yes, he does then, so even more time found. He needs that time found because he's already derated on the straight. Is for Day, so you can see that the EOS or the slipstream's backing him up as he's going to pop himself into P6 then. So he stays P6 but does improve his time, and he might be happy with that one more for Day. But I think there's plenty of more time to be found as Juan pops himself into P7 and extends his advantage up there in the Ferrari inside the top 10. Nawab, 1,000's down in the first set, a bit hesitant going into turn number 7 there, but nonetheless he kept the speed and still managed to make the corner. So let's see how he does on his lap. As Williams makes his way towards Portimao. This corner is actually called Portimao. You can see the back end of the car just complaining just a little bit. He's a few hundreds down in that middle sector anyway. Let's see Bolin's lap time then. He's about to make his way towards the end of the first sector. What can he do in the Alpine? He's 600s up in the first sector, making our way downhill. You can see he missed the apex slightly, but I don't think that'll affect him too much because he did get a decent exit, it must be said. So as he makes his way down into turns number 7, going into turn number 8, that's a difficult corner, but he stays in 4th gear. You can see the back of the car is not is stable quite there, so this is a run for him as he makes his way towards turn number 10 and turn 11. Oh, a bit wide through turn 11, and I dare say, yeah, that's definitely his lap time over. So you can see the car just understeering a little bit on entry towards turn 11, and unfortunately there we couldn't see what the lap time was going to be for Bolin. I believe Joey's out there again. He's just invalidated his lap time, has the Aston Martin, so he's going to head back in the pit lane. That was a brand new set of tyres. I think he's already been out on all 3 compounds, so yeah, he's in the pit lane right now. How many minutes is there left to go in this session? I can't quite see due to the yellow flags out there being shown on the track for drivers who are going slow, such as Facilio. But yeah, majority of the drivers then are in the pit lane. We're just waiting for the main moments. Calm before the storm, before we see who could set a lap time. I think Facilio is on his in lap, going back in the pit lane. Yes, he is in the Alfa Romeo. Better side then in P8 in the AlphaTauri. Currently the highest 16 runner in P8. Can he get himself inside the 15s? We'll see as he's about to make his way towards the final corner. Let's see what lap time the AlphaTauri can set. He's currently ahead of his teammate by 3/10. His teammate is currently in the pit lane, so we're just waiting for him to come out the track. We've got Pietro and Isma about to start their lap. Better side coming towards turn 1, misses the apex line into turn 1, going into turn 2, now turn 3. Let's see how it takes it down to second gear. It rides the curve, though the yellow curve, but looks like the car's still settled going into turn 4 now. DRS enabled for the main opportunity to overtake around here. Going down into T5, heavy braking zone. Okay, absolutely spot on because it is a downhill braking zone, so therefore it's very easy to lock the car up and go a little bit wider than you intentionally wanted to. Going into this double right-hander, then his 6th gear, lift off, and going into the next one. You just want to make sure the back of the car does stick, get your car rotated as soon as you can. Downhill, then going into Craig Jones. This corner was named, I think, after a former bike rider, MotoGP rider. I think he was MotoGP or one of those classes. That's where the name Craig Jones comes from. I think he passed away in an incident in one of the bike series. I think it was Island Man. No, it wasn't Island Man, obviously. They don't race around here. But I think it was World Superbikes or British Superbikes. When they raced around here, and unfortunately Craig Jones passed away. So that's why they call it that corner, if you're wondering why. I didn't even research that, somebody told me. As Betrick makes his way towards the line, and let's see what lap time he can set. It's a 15.9, so he does get himself into 15 and promotes himself into P7 ahead of Juan in P8 then. So decent lap time for him. Jensen's out there coming towards turn number 8 now. Can he get a decent exit? You can see the back end just complaining, unfortunately there. Picking up the throttle way too early and the wheel spin just kicked in. And thankfully, he didn't make the barriers. But he can back off this lap and try and go for it again, make sure the tyres are cooled down, ready for the next lap. But majority of our drivers now are on a lap. The warp then coming towards uphill left-hander, DRS enabled for him. MotoGP do race around here, and hitting the 100-metre board going into turn number 5, hitting the apex very well there, kissing the apex, using all the run-off track as possible. Going into turn number 6, turn 7 and turn 8. You're very careful not to hit that sausage curb, otherwise you'll send your car into a spin and that's game over for you. Turn 8, you can see there a little bit of understeer. Coming into turn 9 now, where I mentioned Craig Jones. Going into turn 10 and turn 11, double right-hander of course. When they meet the apex here, which he does do. And he's about 1/10 up in the first sector. And Verde has got a dry 5-second time on it all. What's happened here? Both Alfa Romeos have just collided, and their teammates as well. I think one of them's got a 5-place grid penalty. I think that was for days. So, yeah, drama going on there at Alfa Romeo. They're both teammates as well. So, yeah, the words will be spoken towards both Alfa Romeos. This gives the upper hand towards Red Bull, who are about to start their last flying lap then. So, the drama going on in this qualifying session between both OP drivers. But, yeah, this gives an advantage now towards TF, who are making their way into turn number 1. This is Leo. I think his teammate's somewhere on the track, just behind him in fact. So both Red Bulls line of stern through here on their flying lap. Going into turn number 4 now. DRS enabled for him as he makes his way towards the end of the first sector. 5,000 up in the first sector for him as Bolan puts his car on pole position with a 15.6, beating Leo by 4 thousandths. Jerry V. Bussell then making his way towards the end of the first sector as qualifying has come to a close. Final laps then for these drivers, make it count. Oh, Leo's got off the track and unfortunately has invalidated the lap time. Both Red Bulls there, you can see a handful of oversteer for both of them going out of turn number 9. Coming into turn 10 and turn 11 now, you can see a wide entry for him as he makes his way out of that corner. You can see the back end of the car complaining still, 600s up in the first sector. Axelino goes into 6th place. The AlphaTauri has just crossed the line now. I think it was TFX Pro who's got into P11. Now Leo, all he can do is give his teammate a slipstream to try and boost his chances of getting near the top then, as Jerry V. Bussell then makes his way towards the final corner to get a good tow from his teammate. And let's see what lap time. Can he take pole away from Bolan? Is he allowed to make his way towards the line? Yes, he can! And it's a 15.5 for Jerry V. Bussell then. So Red Bull then upper hand for both of them, P1 and P3. Ooh, P1 and P3 for both of them. Axelino dips into the pit lane as he will not continue that lap time. But yeah, qualifying over, controversy between both Alfa Romeos there, OP Facilio and OP Fede. Looks like they outplayed themselves. I know, bad joke there, but I think we've got one more driver on the track, but he's going back in the pit lane. Is the NNR driver, so one of them in the top 10, the other one's in P14. What can they do from there? But Jerry V. Bustle then in P1 ahead of Boland by a tenth, and Leo into P3. OP Facilio in P4 ahead of Jensen. Axelino P6 for Day in P7. He will get a 5-place grid penalty, but yeah, I think yeah, LRB is in the session. He's just left the session, you can see there, so he will acknowledge that for Day does have a 5-place grid penalty, so he'll start P12. Qualifiers come to a close. We'll have a brand new lobby and a few drivers who might got a qualified balance from the last race at Baku then, so yeah, I might have to restart the stream just in case I can't get back in the lobby because of the glitch. So if I do restart this, if this stream does end, that means I restarted a new one. So yeah, qualified is over, and we'll take a short break before the race comes up. 33 laps around here. Let's see what happens. Both Red Bulls have the advantage so far. As you can see, for Day has that 5-place grid penalty. Need to leave the session before. I can't leave the session, so I'm going to have to wait till I get in the race. I've done it beforehand, but never mind. Giving it one more try. If this one doesn't work, then everybody, I'm gonna have to start a new stream. I hate it when this happens. Yeah, I don't think it's working. Give it a few more seconds. Yeah, it's not working. So unfortunately, we have to start a new stream, everybody. So this stream will end